Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Alexey, and today I have a special guest, Stefan Brown. Stefan is a master engineer at Abbey Road Studios. Also, Stefan did some very knowledgeable videos for Produce Like a Pro YouTube channel on mastering, where he showed his approach on mastering at Abbey Road Studios. And also Stefan shares his experience and his knowledge on mastering on his Instagram page. So in this case, if you want to learn from Stefan on mastering, you can check out his videos on Produce Like a Pro YouTube channel, and you can check out his videos and posts on his Instagram page. It's a huge honor to have you on my YouTube channel today, Stefan. And let's start our interview. How you became a master engineer?
Yeah, so I became a mastering engineer pretty much like straight away. I grew up with music around me because my father owns a record store down in Soho. And that meant I was always playing with like hi-fi systems and EQ and stuff like that. And then when I started making music about 10 years ago, I could get things sounding pretty good like straight away. So I started doing it for my friends. I didn't really know what I was doing, that it was really mastering. But then I started to learn more about it, and that's pretty much how I started, really. And then I ran my own mastering company for about 8-9 years, and now I'm here at Abbey Road.
How you started working at Abbey Road Studios?
Yeah, so it was quite a long process, but I pretty much just emailed. I had a big portfolio and stuff, and then we started talking, and they liked my work, and then it was coming in to like meet people and stuff for quite a while, and then they ended up offering me a position here, and I'm very grateful for it. But I wasn't a runner or assistant or anything like that.
So my next question is, what kind of skills in mastering it takes to work for Abbey Road Studios? And in this case, do you have any professional education at mastering? And if you don't have professional education, if you are self-taught, so in this case, how you became a self-taught master engineer?
So obviously, to work at Abbey Road, you have to be very good at what you do. So I am very, very good, and I just have a sound that other people seem to like. So I go towards that, and also kind of respecting what they're giving me. And then also people skills too, because we are a service business in mastering. So you want to be able to have people leave happy and everything. So make sure to work on that. I do have a degree in audio engineering, but I was already working as a mastering engineer when I did it. So it was kind of just something to do in COVID. I'm pretty much all self-taught, I would say.
My next question is, what advice can you give to a mixing engineer that will make mastering process easier or improve it in some way?
So I always say to not think about mastering at all. So try and get your mix as finished as possible. Don't think like, okay, I want to do this for him or something. The last thing I ever want is someone to compromise for me. I don't care if the mix you send me is completely slammed and like clips, if that's what you like. I wouldn't want you to do that and then like it and then take it off for me to recreate it. So I'd say just focus on making the mixes as good as possible and as finished as you can. Don't compromise for me or for mastering, because I definitely don't want you to take anything off that you like, thinking it'll make my job easier, because then I'm kind of trying to just replicate what you've done. And then when it comes to like albums and stuff, to not worry about like consistency and things like that in tone and those things, because I can do that. I would rather you just focus on making as mix as impactful and emotive as possible.
So my next question is, since a lot of people are mixing in the box, what are some of the challenges does it create when it comes to mastering?
I would say there's no problem at all with mixing in the box. I do a lot of masters in the box, even though I have gear. It depends on the project. I don't think that plugins are any worse than gear. They're just different. And then when it comes to like self-mastering, it's kind of for me an oxymoron because you're the same person, usually the same speakers, the same room. I feel like the whole process, you're just kind of mixing still, and you don't get that objectivity and you don't get anyone else telling you like where to go or using their own ears. And obviously we use extremely fine-tuned rooms built for mastering. So you're going to get a different result. Like if you have like a bass issue in your room or something, you're not going to suddenly hear that because you switched project or decided you're now mastering. So that's the problem really with self-mastering. It kind of doesn't, in my opinion, exist because it's kind of like if you're editing a film on a monitor and then you go decide you're going to color correct that film, if your monitor isn't like perfectly calibrated and your eyes aren't attuned to it, you're still going to get it. It's not going to be right, you know? So that's kind of how I think of it. I don't think self-mastering is a thing. I think you're always mixing. So that's my thoughts, really.
My next question is, what is the trend you see in mastering that you wish would go away?
It's not really a trend in mastering, I would say, as professionals aren't really doing it. More so a trend in like what people say mastering is, which is all these numbers, like bluffs numbers and things like that. And like you have to low cut and you have to do all these things on your master to make it a master. You have to use compression, EQ. And it's like, no, you don't have to do anything. And the numbers don't matter. You should master with your ears, not your eyes. So ignore that. I don't care about the numbers. I care that it sounds good and full. Like they don't make a difference to anything. Just because one track is -6 laughs and another is -8. The -8 one might sound louder if the -6 laughs is just loads of low end and things like that. So I would ignore all the people who say those sort of things. And then also what I don't like about mastering in the box or gear, I don't like recall. And I don't like maintenance and having to do sign sweeps and stuff. In the box, there's nothing I really don't like, if I'm honest. Like I do a lot just in the box. I think it sounds great. I know a lot of other people who are doing most of their mastering in the box. I don't think gear is necessary. I think it's nice for certain things, but I only buy gear for tone. So I don't have like parametric EQs or anything like that. I just have tone boxes really, which is what I like. I don't think if I want to do like precise EQ or compression or something, I usually just do it in the box.
How much has changed in the way music is consumed? For example, vinyl versus streaming, that has affected the way you master.
So I've only been mastering like 10 years, so there's always been streaming in it. So I don't really know a world before that. But what I can say is, people nowadays, like you don't put on a CD or a record, well, people still do, but like the general population kind of just streams. And I say within about 5 seconds, people hear something in a song when it comes on and decide if they're going to let it play through or just skip to the next song. So it's important for me that from the very start of the song, it sounds emotionally impactful. And I don't want someone to put it on and then skip. That's not what I want. So there needs to be something grabbing someone straight away, whether that's like a tone, a fat bass, a vocal, something like that, which makes someone want to listen. And usually if things sound really impressive, then people will keep playing. So that's kind of my approach, and I work quite fast because of that.
And in this case, in addition to this question, I totally agree with you about CDs and streaming, but some people are still listening to vinyl. And in this case, what is the difference between mastering for vinyl and for streaming platforms nowadays?
I don't cut records, but I don't do anything different. If I make things loud, it's because I like the tone of how loud it is and what the limiters and saturation and clipping is doing to the record. So I don't take anything off if it's going on vinyl. I let it just be how it is, because then I'm taking away from what I've done and it might be less impactful on vinyl. So my masters for streaming and for vinyl exactly the same. I'll leave things up to the cutting engineer if they want to like filter, or which they will do, and like adjust like frequency range and tone to make it work on a record. But if I've say like done a lot of like heavy limiting and things like that, it's because it suits the song. So I don't want to get rid of that. I want to leave it as it is.
What are some of the biggest changes in your approach to mastering due to these changes in how music is listened to?
Again, because I've been around the whole time streaming has been a thing, I haven't really changed anything, if I'm honest. I've always kind of done it the same way because streaming has always been a thing whilst I've been mastering. So I don't really have an answer to that one, or my answer is nothing.
Since vinyl has become more popular again, do you think it has required going back to older mastering techniques to achieve the desirable results for mastering?
I think things, aside from when you go back to like the early days of mastering, when it really was just transferring to vinyl and making sure it worked on vinyl, I think it's kind of stayed the same like the whole time. I don't really think anything's changed. People are still making things loud like they did in the 90s, and people are still making things dynamic, and things sound good on vinyl and things don't sound good in vinyl. But I'm sure I have quite an extensive record collection. There's things back from many years ago that don't sound great on vinyl. So I don't think that anything's really changed, if I'm honest. And the people who are cutting vinyl still do it pretty much the same way.
Is there some kind of integration of the new with old techniques about mastering for you?
I quite like the kind of tools that we have now. Like I can really change a song if I need to, like take the drums out and do things to them, and like process the vocals individually and stuff with just the stereo mix. So I quite like that I'm able to do that sort of stuff now rather than just broad kind of things. And that's what new tools like Ozone or Split EQ by Ben Tide and certain transient shaping plugins and things like that have allowed me to do. So I'm quite happy with that. And again, I use analog for tone. So those kind of my broad strokes across the whole record. But in general, like I mostly, I guess, dive between a bit of old school and new school approach, where I'll do a lot to individual tracks if I need to, but then also treat them very carefully and respectfully with bringing in tone and creating impact and stuff, and making sure it sounds pleasing. So with analog and also with plugins. So that's kind of my approach. I don't really think about it in a new or old way, because it's kind of how I've always done it.
Thank you so much, Stefan, for such a wonderful interview. It was a huge honor talking to you, and it was a huge honor meeting you. And I guess we should give some kind of shout out to Warren Hewitt for introducing you to the audio community. And I really hope that your collaboration with Warren will continue, and not only for Produce Like a Pro YouTube channel, but also I really hope that Warren will hire you to make some wonderful mastering course for Pro Mix Academy or for Produce Like a Pro Academy in this case, because you are a fantastic master engineer. And even by watching your videos on Produce Like a Pro YouTube channel, there is still so much to learn from you and from your mastering approach, which again blew my mind away, after watching a couple of your videos on Produce Like a Pro YouTube channel. And thank you so much for your wonderful work and dedication to audio community and to music itself. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Great to chat with you.